you talk to us about what's happening here today?
Today we're having the Public Way of the Cross. We began this 6 years ago, 2008, just after I came. A group called Community Liberation had sponsored such a walk in Halifax, and when they heard that I had done it in Halifax, they said, why don't we do it in Ottawa? I said, let's go. And they were surprised at the turnout. They expected 100 people, and there were over 500, so it was quite extraordinary. And since then, it's always been something that people put in their calendars, and it's been, I think, a good chance for us to show our faith in public. That the cross is important for our society.
How many people are you expecting today?
I'm not sure, probably 500, maybe a bit more.
Wow.
I think it always depends on what's going on. We had a group that were a group of sisters who used to come, and they've moved to Metcalfe, and they said, well, we have a Way of the Cross there, so we're not coming this year. So, you know, people make changes every year, so we'll see how it goes here.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the significance of this walk.
Well, the Way of the Cross is something that, of course, took place 2,000 years ago when Jesus walked to Calvary, and that's where he died and was raised. And so after a certain number of decades and centuries, people started making pilgrimages to the holy sites, and they, in a certain sense, recreated the walk that Jesus made to Golgotha, to Calvary. And so since then, we've had Ways of the Cross in our churches. Every church has 14 stations, and then the last one is the visitation to the tabernacle where Jesus, the risen Lord, remains. And so people have said, well, let's do these things outside. And different cultures have done it. And I think a number of people in our society say, you know, there's a current in our society that says keep your faith to yourself and your house and your church, but not outside. And we say, no. Our faith touches every aspect of our lives, and we need to be there in the public place. So we go and we pray before the Supreme Court, we pray before the Peace Tower and Parliament Hill, we pray before the National Gallery of Art, and so on. So our idea is to let our faith be shown on this particular day. It's a very important thing.
What do you think it means to the people who are participating in it?
I think they associate their sufferings and their struggles, their pains, with the sufferings of Jesus. That's really one of the things that makes the devotion to the Way of the Cross such a popular devotion. You know, if Jesus and our faith in God have nothing to do with how we suffer, we struggle, our setbacks in love or unemployment or sickness and so on, if it has nothing to say to that, then our faith is empty. Whereas in looking at the sufferings of Jesus, we can say, I too can see a bigger picture than just my sufferings. I can see hope beyond. I can see that God give me peace by being present with me in my sufferings. So those are some of the things I think that people say. I think they also have a great love of Jesus, and so to be with him in these very difficult last moments of his life, hours of his life, I think it says something to them particularly. In the devotion that we have, the little booklet, we have reflections by Charlotte Péguy, French writer, speaking about Our Lady and how she accompanied her son to the cross, and again, what a woman brings to the experience of suffering, compassion, and that type of thing. These are virtues to be imitated, and I think our people find that very much speaks to their situations of life.
Is anyone actually carrying the cross here?
Yes, there is. Sometimes people alternate with it, but one year we had a young person, last year we had an older person. I don't know who chooses them. I basically come and accompany them and do some of the readings, but the planning is done by a group called Community Liberation. Okay. And they ask their own members or some of their friends. They offer the choir. Okay. The choir sings in English, French, and Latin, and I think it's beautiful music, and I think that's very attractive to people too. That the Passion of Jesus and his resurrection have sponsored great artistic works. You could just think of the St. Matthew's Passion, Bach's Oratorio, those kinds of things, the Messiah. These are all inspired by the story of the Bible, the story of Jesus, and so that's really what we're living here in these days, and today especially.